we're in now, right? So just regular market, okay? Pat's gonna be the listing agent, I'm gonna be the home seller. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
All right. Oh, we got somebody coming in. Come on in. Sit anywhere. Hey, Matt. Hey, how are you? All right, Pat's the listing agent, I'm the home seller. Hi.
Hi, Pat Gilday.
Hey, Pat, nice to meet you. Megan
Hi,
Perez.
Megan. Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for having me
Oh,
out.
thanks for coming over. Come on in.
Great house, Megan.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
nice. So, do you mind if you show me around real fast?
Oh, sure, no problem. Put your stuff down and we'll kind of take a walk around the house and I'll point out some
All right.
key details for you.
Sounds great.
All right, perfect.
If you don't mind, lead the way.
Sure. Here we go. We're still
This is
rolling. Okay, so this is our formal dining room.
Okay.
You know, not much has been done to it over the years. We have hardwood floors throughout on the first floor. You know, we haven't really done much with them. They were covered with carpet for years and years and years. But formal dining room.
Very nice. Great size.
Thank you. Over here is our formal living room.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing. It's a little bit dated, but you know, I think it's awesome,
Great.
and we love it.
Great.
All right, let's take a look at. Over here we have our kitchen. We've done some updates over the years. You know, newer appliances. By newer, I mean like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we did replace the countertops.
I see them for my kid.
Yeah, new Formica countertops. So that should really
Okay.
up the value quite a bit. You know, really like the kitchen. And then off the kitchen, we have our family room. This was an addition that we put on
Great.
about 1975, 78-ish.
Well, it's a great addition.
Okay, good.
It really helps the value. So I'm glad to see that.
And then if we want to come upstairs, I'll show you. So we're walking up the steps, walking up the steps. Over to the right is our master bedroom. It's a good size. We have a master bath here. Never been updated, but it's got everything that we
It
need.
has a shower.
Yep.
That's great. So that helps.
Yep.
Wonderful.
And I think we have great closet space. So, you know, we have a his and hers closet here. So that's been really great
homes
over
in
the years.
Springfield are not known for their closets.
Yeah.
So if you have some closets, you're doing better than most.
Yeah.
So that's great.
We do have like some carpet down in all the bedrooms, but there is hardwood floors underneath, just so you know, so you can market that because I know everybody's into hardwood floors right now. Okay. And then we have bedroom 2, bedroom 3, bedroom 4, all with carpet but hardwood underneath, as well as our full bathroom here. That again hasn't had much done to it, but no issues whatsoever.
All right. Sounds great. Can we sit down and chat?
Sure, I would love that.
Yes.
So nice to meet you. So tell me, what did you want to get out of today's meeting?
So, well, number one, I would like to know what my home is worth in today's market, because obviously that's important to us moving forward. We've been here forever. We've poured our heart and soul into this house. And number two would be figuring out what we're going to do moving forward, because I know that's been an issue with a lot of people.
Do you mind if I take some notes?
No, not at all.
Great, thanks. So tell me, if we sold your house today, where would you go? What is your plan?
Well, that's what I was hoping to talk to you about, because right now we don't really have a plan. So, you know, I heard from some friends that sold their house recently that their agent had some ideas. So I kind of wanted to use your expertise for that.
So if we sell your house, are you looking to stay in the area? Are you looking to move elsewhere, downsize, get bigger? What is your next step?
Well, me and my husband have been here for 30 some years now, so we're definitely looking to downsize. We don't need a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home anymore. So we would be okay with downsizing, but we would like to buy something if possible.
Okay. Do you want to stay in the area?
Yeah, we'd like to stay in the Delaware County area.
Okay, all right. Well, let me tell you about what's going on in the market. So right now, we're in this, I'm sure you've seen the news, the market is really tight, there's not a lot of inventory, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. So right now, it's really hard to sell your house with a contingency to sell.
What does that mean?
Great question. What that means is that if you put your house on the market today and you go put find a house that you want to put an offer in,
Mm-hmm.
you have either a contingency that you have to sell your house still, or you have a contingency that you have your house sold, but it has to go to settlement.
Okay.
So what happens, and you'll experience this when you list your house with me. One of the things that will happen is that we'll get offers. If we get offers with contingencies, you don't know if they're going to get to settlement. So why would you take that risk when we have all these other offers we're going to get? We'll probably get multiple offers. Why would we want to take an offer that has a risk of not closing? when we can take an offer that we know will settle on a specific date.
Okay, I
Make sense?
understand that, but a lot of our money's tied up in this house, so
Yes.
how does that work then?
Yes, it's a challenge. So there's several options. We do several options. One is if you don't have the funds, you can do a bridge loan. If you qualify, we can speak with a lender about that. And what that means is that you take this extra loan to cover from the sale to the purchase, knowing that this is going to sell, you'll be pulling the proceeds out. So that's a bridge loan to get you to the next house. There's that option. There is the option of doing a rent back on your house. So you sell your house, renting it back if the buyer's agreeable, and then you find your next house.
So we would actually settle, have our money, and then still be able to stay in the house?
Yes, right.
Okay.
So there's that option.
Is that a guarantee?
Absolutely not. Nothing's a guarantee in real estate.
Okay.
However, we're seeing a lot of that now. This is where the market is. The market's starting to change some, so I don't know how well that's going to fly. Also, as the market starts to change, which you see on the news, we are starting to see inventory pick up. As the market starts to change, we will start seeing contingencies. Now, a sale and settlement contingency, that's where you have to sell your house to buy the new house.
Mm-hmm.
Even as the market shifts, we're not going to see that. The next step will be a settlement contingency. So the most important thing to do is we have to decide what is your exit strategy. If we put your house on the market, gets it under contract, and we don't find a house, is there someplace where you can go? Are you agreeable to short-term rentals? Are you agreeable to move in with your kids? Is there some other plan?
Well, I mean, I'm sure, my daughter has a nice big house. She probably wouldn't be thrilled with it, but I'm sure we can stay with her for a little while. Question though, so, obviously we have to decide if we're ready to sell right now. In the meantime, I saw a few houses that I wanted to look at this weekend and was hoping that you'd be, agreeable to show us those to help make our decision a little bit easier.
So we can look at houses. I don't recommend you looking at a house now. And why is that? Because Megan, as you see in the inventory, houses are selling very fast, right? Whatever you look at now will not be available when you're ready to purchase because we need to get your house under contract first. So I don't recommend it. Also, we also need to get a pre-approval to see what you qualify for.
Okay.
Don't want to show you a house and you fall in love with it and it's not in your price range.
And that's something you can help us with?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because every house you're going to compare to that one, and you don't want to do that. So we
Okay.
want to find you the perfect house, your dream house, for your next stage in life, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about this house, all right?
Okay.
So one of the things that I would suggest, and you have a great house, it's in Springfield. We are looking at Dutton Circle in Springfield.
Colonial Park.
Colonial Park. The one thing about this house, and yes, you've done some additions, you put the addition up the back, you've done some upgrading, but you haven't done anything major updates in 15 years or so, correct?
Well, I told you we had those new appliances that are about 10 years old.
Which is great. As you mentioned, everybody loves hardwood floors. Why don't we, and I have contractors if you need people to help, why don't we pull up the carpet in the house and expose the beautiful hardwood floors? It's
It
not
sounds
a
like a
big
pain in the neck.
expense. It will appreciate your value
Do you
dramatically.
think it would help the value that much?
Two things that give you value that you'll get back multiple times: flooring and paint. So I highly recommend. Now listen, I'm going to suggest things for you to do, but nothing that you have to do. It's always your choice. So it's what you do to the condition of the house will affect the price. So the more we enhance it, the better the price will be. Does that work?
Okay.
So I recommend we pull up the carpets and get the floors visit. Now we don't have to do a total refinish. If they need some love, we can use the companies out there that just do like Mr. Sandless type of company, just do a quick surface and they'll make it beautiful and really fun.
Okay.
Does that work?
So can we talk about what would the price point be?
Absolutely.
Without
Absolutely.
doing anything
Absolutely.
versus doing
Yeah.
some of that?
So let me show you what's going on in your area. These are 3 homes that are similar to your home in the area. This is a 3-up.
And these have sold or?
These are all sold, and these are all within a mile of you, and they're all 3-bedroom houses, that just like you. What I want to show you, Meg, is one of the things that's really important in this market is we don't want to overprice. We are still in a market that if we overprice, you might miss your opportunity.
But what do you think about, if you underprice and then you miss an opportunity to get more money?
Look at these 3 homes. I'm going to show you. This house was listed for $370. Ironically, they're all listed for $375, right? And this one sold for $390, $375, and $375. And they all sold between 2 and 7 days.
Okay.
So you and I want to sell your house for the most money. correct?
Right.
Right. However, the market tells us what your house is worth, not you and I. What it is what a buyer will pay for your house and what you'll sell for it, that's the value of your home.
Okay.
So if we go with a price that's a little bit lower than you think, the market will have competition and we can get your price up. No guarantees, but it seems to be the way the market is right now.
Okay.
So these all listed for $375 and they sold for $375 or higher within a week. Are you ready to sell your house in a week?
I was thinking closer to $390 as a list price.
Well, let me show you that. So $390, when I reviewed your situation, if you paint the living room, the first floor, paint the house, and you pull up the carpets, and we have nice hardwood floors, we can list it at $390. Because I looked at these homes, and normally I have pictures of all this, and we'll show you, but I think $390 would be a fine start. And I think that if we do that, and you make your house in the best condition, then we can come in and I can help stage it to make it show its best light. I think you'll sell for over $400.
And do you have any idea how much that work would cost, like refinishing the floors and some paint?
Your all-in investment will probably be under $5,000.
Okay.
And if you need to, I do have contractors that will take payment and settlement.
Now, what do you think the house would be worth as is today?
So as is today, I'm thinking we should probably go in the closer to the $375, $380 price range without doing anything.
So you think if we put $5,000 worth of work into the house, we could potentially get an additional $20,000? Well, it sounds like it
That
makes
sounds a great
sense.
deal, right?
Yeah,
As
definitely.
I said, floor and paint, you always get your money back multiple times.
Okay.
All right?
All right, so now can we talk about our fees from the
Sure.
seller side?
Yes. So in the normal market, I always charge a 6% commission, 3% to the buyer side, 3% to the seller side. If we stay in this market where we are right now, where things are selling in a week, and I'm not doing major marketing, I'm agreeable to adjust the commission to 5%. So 2.5% to the buyer side and 2.5% to the seller side.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that sounds like a deal. It's a couple $1,000s.
Absolutely. Every penny helps,
Yeah,
right? To buy that
definitely.
next house that we're gonna buy?
Yeah. Now, I did speak with a friend of mine who's also a neighbor. She lives around the corner, and her agent was willing to reduce a little bit more. I think she said she did 4.5% total. Is that something that you'd be willing to talk about?
So when she did the 4.5%, what kind of split was she saying? Was she gonna take 2 and give 2.5 to the buyer? Or was she gonna take 2.5 and give the 2 to the buyer?
I honestly don't know.
So when you start discounting it too low, other agents are gonna look at that, and they're gonna pick and choose if they wanna show your house. Not always correct, not the right thing to do, but it may happen. So we don't wanna discount ourselves. We wanna make sure we show ourselves as a good offer, a buyer that agents wanna show and sell your house.
Now, how about if you happen to have a buyer? Are you willing to work with the commission on that?
So that's a
aspect?
great point. Let me go that way, but I don't do dual agency
Okay,
because I wanna represent you.
okay,
My job is to work strictly for you. So if we have a buyer that wants to see the house, I will have another agent in our office represent that buyer. Now, Megan, I would never let it not show the house. We will show it, I will show it, we'll make sure it gets tons of showings. However, I only represent you because you're hiring me for my skill to negotiate on your behalf, right? How can you negotiate on both sides of the coin?
okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I will have another agent represent them. So no, we wouldn't adjust that commission for that,
Okay.
all right?
All right, and what does the timing look like? So, if I talk to Fred and he's ready to go, what's the time frame look like from when we sign the listing contract?
Great question, Megan. Depending on what you're wanting to do, so talk to Fred. What I would like to do is give you, look at our phones and pick out dates. I think that if you do the paint and the carpet, I think we're in July right now, and I think that we don't want to miss the summer market.
Okay,
So I think we should be prepared to go on the market by August 5th. Would that work for you?
yeah, is it really important for people to be in by the time school starts? I think maybe we catch some of those buyers?
Usually it is. This
Okay.
market is a little different, but normally that is.
Okay,
So what I would recommend is why don't we do the listing paperwork, get that out of the way, and we'll revisit it if we need to. You work on, and we'll work together on getting the contracts, to getting the work done. So we figure I'll come back here on the 29th. That's the weekend before, and we'll see how the house looks.
Okay.
And if we need to make any changes for the start price or the start date, we can do it then.
okay, and what does your marketing plan look like? So if we decide to go with you, what does your plan look like for our home?
Well, in this market, hopefully we'll sell it in less than a week and we don't have to do a whole lot.
Okay,
If we have to do more marketing, we do whatever it takes. So we do internet, social media, just listed postcards to all the neighbors, because everybody wants their friends and family to live nearby, right? So the postcards get people nearby saying, hey, this house is, so we'll do that. If we have to, if the market shifts, which I haven't had to do it in 3 years, but we'll do open
I was
houses if
gonna
we
say,
need
do you do
to.
open houses?
Only if we need to, and only if you want them.
Okay,
Some people don't want people coming randomly in the house, so that's your choice.
okay,
Remember, I'm here to help you sell your house.
okay.
I won't make you do anything you're not comfortable with.
And then how do showings work?
That's a great question. So we have a showing service. When your house goes live, you tell me if there's any restrictions on when you want to have the house shown. I will set up the showing instructions and they will call you or text you, whatever you're more comfortable with,
Okay,
and to whenever somebody wants to see the house. Now, Megan, the way this market is right now, that first week in August, I recommend you plan on being away
for the whole week?
for the week or at least the whole day.
Okay.
Because the activity will be great.
Okay,
Anticipate a very busy weekend.
so we can't be there for the showings?
No.
Okay,
We don't want you there to influence the buyers. It's easier for the agents to show a neutral environment.
okay. And are you there for the showings?
I am not there for the showings. The other agent, if you go in, when we go look at houses together, and if there's somebody else in the room, you're not comfortable speaking openly, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense.
So we want to be able to discuss the house without somebody nearby, right?
Okay.
So that's the same thing when these buyers come to the house.
You don't think it's important though that you're there to kind of pointing out the fine details of the home?
Well, we'll have a listing with all your details. We'll have a
Okay.
seller's disclosure with everything, and then we're gonna get together and you're gonna give me a list of everything you've done, everything great about your house. And then I'll pretty it up and put it on the listing so the agents can see that and share that with their buyers.
Okay, so for instance, the fact that the carpeted bedrooms upstairs have hardwoods underneath.
Well, we're
They'll
hopefully.
know that?
Hopefully we'll have that carpet removed
Okay,
and
Trent.
they'll see it
Okay,
and it'll show beautifully. Now we'll have a professional photographer come in and make sure the pictures show in your best light.
okay,
And as I said, I'll come in and tweak the staging to make sure everything is perfect. So when I come in before the photographer, we'll have it all set up, and then that's how your house has to look for all the showings. That's why I say it's easy for you, just go away for a day or so and just relax.
what do we do with our dogs?
Great question. We don't want dogs. We
Okay,
don't want any evidence, we don't want any evidence of pets.
okay,
So you're gonna take your dog with you. We're gonna hide the dog food, the litter box, everything, we're gonna put that away.
okay,
Okay, if the cat's in the house, okay, I know we can't take that, but we're gonna make that as unobvious as possible.
okay.
Just like we're not gonna have any kids' toys in the living room, we want it to be a nice grown-up walk-in presence. Alright, I know it's a little bit of work, but the work pays off, and you'll get the top dollar for your house, you'll be pleasantly surprised at the outcome.
Okay, so you're going to we'll do the listing paperwork now.
So your husband is not here right now, so we
Right.
can't do that. What we can do is I can go through it with you,
Okay,
you can sign it, and then I can upload it and send it to him electronically, and then he can sign the rest.
okay, I think he can figure that
Yeah,
out.
and this way, if there's any questions, we can go through the whole contract together.
Okay,
Sound good?
Sounds
All right,
great.
Let's do it.
all right.
Sound good? All right?
All right, so anybody have any questions about that type of listing presentation? Or anything that we did or said?
Oh,
Or
wait, and then I say, wait, here, Meg, in case you're bored tonight, here's some light reading about me.
Oh, thanks, Pat.
That's good for you listening. I
have a question
Yeah.
regarding animals, because it's happened before. How about if Meg's house has an odor?
Oh, we talked about this.
Oh, you already did?
So this-
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
not here today.
Oh,
Me and
okay.
Pat were talking
Okay.
about some objections yesterday.
So for this house, this is quiet, a closed environment, quiet, don't share, but this house that is a house I sold, there was an odor, but it wasn't an animal odor.
Oh.
It was an older person odor.
Okay.
A sicker person odor. So so that's part of the reason why we wanted to get the carpets up.
Okay.
And then I said, listen, we should probably just have an air freshener, like a clean linen, something very light. We don't want to clash.
Mhm.
So that's what, and also said, I'm Megan, may I be brutally honest with you?
Sure, that's what I'm paying you for.
Great. Listen, I did notice that you had some dog smell in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get rid of that.
Okay.
Some people are offended by it.
Really, I didn't notice it.
I know, you see that commercial that
Good
you
response,
you're
Meg.
blind to that odor? You know that commercial?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So what we want to do, besides we're getting the carpets up, open up your windows, air your house out. I
Okay.
know it's gonna be a little warm, but let's air it out, get some fresh air in here. and then we'll see what happens. And then we might do some little air fresheners, but very light, like a clean linen,
Okay,
nothing strong.
nothing overbearing.
Right.
I always say with the pet thing too, I'll start it by saying like, listen, I want you to know, like, I'm an animal person. I've always had dogs, I have cats, you know, and I notice sometimes depending on the weather or the temperature outside,
Right.
I'll get that animal smell more than, you know, regularly at my own home. And I just wanted to let you know, because it's my job to be honest with you and to get you as much money as possible, that when you first walk in, there is, you know, a pet odor. So what can we do to kind of get rid of that or make it so that it's non-existent when we have showings? You know, so try to just, I don't know, make it as
Yeah, and you
friendly
gotta-
and, yeah, soften the blow a little bit.
Right, you gotta be honest, and when, you know, we tried to do the walkthrough, it was kind of hard without things, but you always wanna find something you connect with them, and also, no matter what the house looks like, there's something that you have to love about it.
Yeah.
You love their house, this is their house, they've been in there for however years, they love that house, no matter what you think, so remember that. Don't say, oh my God, this is a tear down.
Yeah. And it's better to be honest with them than for them to get feedback saying things that you should have told them at the actual listing contract or the listing presentation. So if it smells like dog or like, you know, cat urine, better for you to mention it and soften the blow there than to get your first feedback and it's like, smells like cat piss,
Yeah.
you know, like.
And then when you go through farther down, you talk about the showings, I said, listen, you're gonna get some feedback, you know, you might not always like what you hear, but please don't take it personally, and then we'll address all these concerns, and we'll make things correct. You know, so let them know that they're gonna get some feedback, that some agents are not.
And right now, agents aren't great at giving feedback, period, but, you know, when the market does start to shift, I feel like feedback will be coming back because it'll be more important for us because our listings won't be selling in 2 days, and, you know, just know that some are more brutal than others, I think.
Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna switch to the market. Now we're gonna go to the shifting market, because that's what's coming. What you've been experiencing a very unique market where you just put a house on the market in 5 days, it's done. But we're asking multiple offers, all kinds of craziness, so. no.
So I read a stat that said in the last 2 years, I guess, a little over 2 years now, 8 out of 10 homes sold for over their asking price. This is like across the US, which is pretty unbelievable. So that's now become sellers' expectations, is that, you know, I'm gonna price it, and even when you get them their asking price, sometimes they're not happy. They wanted more. They were thinking it was gonna be like their neighbor's situation where they listed for $350 and got $375. That might not be the case now, you know? So it's gonna be our job. Number one is just knowing the data, the stats, the information, knowing your market. That's gonna be absolutely, I mean, you're not gonna succeed if you don't know what's going on in your own market. And being able to present that in a way where it's not doom and gloom, it's opportunity for your client. That's gonna be your most important thing. So we'll give you an idea of what that's gonna look like.
Where do you find that information?
Well, right. Also, like NAR has a lot of
People
market
do.
statistics, you know, Suburban West, or what are they called now?
Tri-County.
Tri-County has a lot of stats if you go on their website, so utilize that stuff. And I'm not saying you have to know every stat for every township and every borough. Don't make it overwhelming, but if you're going on a listing appointment, especially once things start to shift, you want to know, like, how many pending listings are there now as opposed to 6 months ago? How many active listings are there now as opposed to 6 months ago? That's going to be really important information and try to show them that things are changing, you know, prices are changing and inventory and demand is changing a little bit.
Yeah, months on market, we haven't talked about that in the past 3 years, how many months of inventory we have, because we don't have months of inventory. But we're gonna be back to months of inventory, so you need to know that. You can tell them, listen, if nothing else comes on the market, it's gonna take 7 months to sell every house in your area. Okay, that's a little shocking when they hear that. So, it's a whole different market we're gonna be heading into. I know you guys have to know, be able to know your numbers.
I know, you feel like buyers are doing it now, they're like, well, it's been on the market for 3 weeks.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Like,
did say that.
oh,
Yeah.
like 6 was normal, I mean, it's kind of, yeah.
But it's
Well,
not
I'm feeling
normal.
a lot lower.
It's not
because-
normal compared to the past 2 years.
Right.
So I feel like the millennial market, which is the biggest amount of home buyers right now, they, one, think 3% is like your standard interest rate for a 30-year mortgage. And
Yeah.
two, they think that a house shouldn't be on the market more than 2 or 3 days or there's an issue.
Right.
So there are things that we have to, you know, other baby boomers and other generations, they understand that in the 80s, you were getting, in the teens probably
Oh, yeah.
for percent, for
Seven
mortgage
was the
interest.
average back
Yeah.
then. I mean, that's 6 to 7's an average.
When my
interest rate.
kids were buying a house, the interest rates hit 5%, and I told them both, you have to buy a house now. Interest rates will never be lower.
Yeah, and look what happened.
They did too.
So, and I think that's part of it is like explaining to people that 3% is that's not the going interest rate. That's because we were in an absolutely insane period of time in the history of our country. It's more statistically, I'd say it's probably 6%, 6.5%. You know, on average is probably your 30-year financing rate. So when I bought my first house in 02 or 03, that was, we had 6.5. That was a great rate. So, and everything that goes up must come down. I don't see us getting into the teens, but just explaining to people that, so it's going to cost you a little bit more to borrow the money, but you're going to pay less for the house, so it's 6 in one, 1/2 in the other type
It's a
of
lot
thing.
better than in the 80s when it was 16%.
Exactly, yeah.
And people still bought.
Yeah,
Because people had to live.
well, every market, no
19?
matter
I
what,
remember
there's,
that. I remember 16.
every market has challenges and opportunities. So you always, as a realtor, want to focus on the opportunities, no matter what the market looks like.
And people don't buy because of the interest rate. They
Right.
buy because they have a life situation, whether it's an investment.
Unless you're a millennial. Then they're buying because of the interest rate.
But they're buying because they want to move out of their parents' house.
Yeah.
They know the interest rates aren't going to go back down. You better buy now and get out of your parents' house. You're buying for the investment. You're buying because you just have another kid and you have to run your house. You buy because you can't be in a 2-story house. You got to be in a rancher. You got buy because you have a 4-bedroom house and you don't want to take care of it anymore. There's so many reasons. There's reasons why people buy. It's not the interest rate.
And I feel like the rental market right now is crazier than the resale market. So if people are thinking, oh, I'll just rent for another year, like that's not easy either. Because all these people that have sold their houses, taken advantage of how much money they can make, now they're stuck renting because they couldn't find anything. Well, they've got cash in the bank, they've got excellent credit, they've got the income. So it's making it really hard for your typical renters to find something, So I think that's going to create a lot of an issue. So, all right.
Next agent.
I'll be the agent now. I'm happy to be seller.
Hello.
Hey, Pat, Megan Carezzi, Keller Williams Real Estate.
Hi, Megan. Hi. Nice
Thanks.
to meet you.
Thanks so much for having me over.
Come on
I
in.
absolutely love your landscaping.
Isn't it great?
Do you have a green thumb, or do you have somebody here for
It's
it?
my passion.
Oh God, I do not at all, but I really appreciate the outside of your house. It looks amazing.
She had the benefit of going second.
Do you mind if I put my stuff down and you can just give me a quick tour around the house?
Here's our formal dining room.
Okay, all right.
It's got some carpet, but it looks good, right?
That's a good size.
Yeah, I like it. Here's our formal living room. This is where we all hang out.
Okay.
It's very comfy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cozy.
Here's my kitchen. I did put in new appliances about 10 years ago. They're white.
Okay.
Which are
All right.
great. Did you love them?
Oh yeah.
The kitchen's small, yeah, but I love it because it's all compact and I don't have to walk around a lot. It's perfect.
So you love the galley.
I love this bit.
All right, great. Well, you definitely will love your house, so that's great. Okay. Now, did you put this addition on?
We did.
Okay.
And it's great because it has a door to the backyard. I noticed there's a full bathroom right here.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, just perfect.
So you have 2 full baths.
I don't have to go upstairs when I have to take a shower. I just want to do the gardening and just go right in.
Oh, that's great. Okay, perfect. You thought of everything.
Yeah, the basement's unfinished. We don't want to go down there. It's a mess.
Okay, all right. So no basement, but it's unfinished.
We have it.
Is it dry?
It's dry. It's cobwebs, but it's real. It's a mess. We're not great.
Okay.
All right, upstairs I have 3 bedrooms.
Okay.
They have the Springfield closet, so it's not that great. And
But it's typical. If buyers looking in Springfield, they know what they're getting.
my bathroom, you know what? I love this retro bathroom, the pink and the green. That's a great color. I mean, Springfield is awesome with their tile, isn't it?
Yeah, they really are.
That's the house. What do you
Okay.
think?
It's really great. I think there's definitely to get you more bang for your buck if you want. We can talk about some things that you might be able to do. But overall, you can tell that it's a really well-loved and maintained house. So you and your husband have done a great job.
I do.
You're welcome. Do you want to sit down and we'll chat a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
So, This market is amazing. I'm so excited.
The market is really,
I know. My next door neighbor just got $450 for their house,
wow, how long ago was that?
just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, a couple weeks ago. Now tell me a little bit about your neighbor's house. What was that like? Have you been inside?
Yeah, I have. It's a colonial like mine.
Okay. Have they done any updates?
They got rid of that bathroom, that pink and green.
Okay.
I don't know. Everybody wants white and gray.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. You are right about that.
I think it's ridiculous. They just don't have color in the house.
How about their kitchen? Have they made any updates there?
Well, they don't have the addition, so
Okay,
they
so
don't
no
have,
family
yeah,
room.
so I don't mind my galley bumps open to that.
Right.
The kitchen's bigger, but it doesn't have that open space like mine does.
Okay. How about have they updated cabinets, counters, anything like that?
Yeah, they still have that white cabinet
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, I'm not.
I will tell you, most buyers are liking neutral right now. Grays are really in and whites, fresh slate. But let's talk about your house and what we can do. So just kind of to let you know about what the market's been. So the past 2 years, we've been in a very untypical market. The interest rates obviously have
Wait,
been
can I get
super
you something
low.
to drink?
Sure, I'll take some water if you don't mind, Pat. Thank you. So we've been in a crazy market the past couple of years. Interest rates have been super low. I mean, we're talking, they were in the 3s in December. So it was stimulating our market, ton of buyers, not a lot of listings or a lot of homes on the market. So it's raised the prices for everyone. In the past few weeks, did you read about or see on TV by chance that the Feds had raised the interest rates 3/4 of a point?
Yeah.
So what that means is our rates, Pat. I've never had anybody pick up a phone and be so what that means is that with the rising interest rates, the inventory is going to accumulate. Buyers are going to have less affordability, and our market is starting to shift. So that may mean that you might be, a little disappointed with the sale price, but my job is always going to be to get you the most money in the quickest amount of time with the least amount of hassle.
I just spoke with an agent yesterday, and they told me that they can guarantee at least $425 for my house. It's sold in a week.
Okay, so one, no one can absolutely guarantee that. So there's a lot of realtors out there. You can call a lot of them that are going to come over, they're going to make you promises that they can't keep. They want to get their sign in your front yard and get you to sign that 6-month to 12-month listing contract, and then they're going to set it and forget it.
How long is your listing contract?
I normally do a 6-month contract, but what I do is an easy out clause, where if at any point you're not happy with the service that I'm providing or what I'm doing to service your listing, give me 2 days notice and a chance to talk, and if you're not happy, I'll allow you out of the listing contract.
So what's the price?
So here's what I'm thinking. Let's take a look at, okay, so you said your neighbor's house just sold for $450. Now, over the past 6 months, we've had prices in Colonial Park go anywhere from $320 up to your neighbor's house, $460. That was the highest one that sold. So what
Two houses down, just 2 houses for me.
Well, but you did say that they had quite a few improvements, and updates that your house
So
doesn't
they were
currently have.
$460, so we'll do $450.
Well, let me explain to you. So buyers right now, they have been willing to pay absolute top dollar to finance somebody else's updates. Meaning they want to walk in, kick their shoes off, and enjoy. They don't want to have to walk in the house and see, oh, the hardwood floors might need to be refinished, or that bathroom needs to be updated, the kitchen's got original cabinets. I'm telling you, because I know the market, this is what buyers want, and this is what they're willing to pay for. So let's take a look. Okay, so remember, this is the shifting market. So here, I want you to take a look at something. So 6 months ago, if you would have had me to your house to list it, you would have seen that there was no active listings in Colonial Park.
Those aren't comps.
How are they not comps?
Look at the price.
Well, let's look at the actual features in the houses. I think that's more important than looking at the price.
Look, I look just like this one and these guys. These are me. And look, at the $390, $400, $408.
Okay, but you before had mentioned 425, so these are under
Okay.
400.
All right.
So I'm not giving you a set price right now. I just want to look through these to help you better understand what's happening with the market. So 6 months ago, if I would have come to your house to list it, I would have come here with 0 active listings, because active listings didn't sit longer than 2 or 3 days. I want you to see here how these first 4 listings are all active currently.
No, it
Okay.
says closed. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm pretending that it's a shifting market. There's not 4 active listings in Springfield right now.
It's like, where are they?
Okay, so I want you to see that these 4 listings right now are active on the market. Okay, and I want to look at the days on market here. You see this one's been 24 days, this one's been 23, this one's only been 5, and this one's been 40 days on the market.
Oh my God.
So if you look at these prices, these houses are sitting because buyers are not willing to pay what they're listed at. Okay, so what I can promise
So
you
I
is.
missed the opportunity.
No, I don't want you to think that. Right now is an excellent opportunity to sell your home because think about it. 6 months ago, they were selling for higher, but there was no inventory to buy, so they were also buying higher. In a market like this, yes, you may sell for a little bit less than you would have 6 months ago, but you're also going to have more opportunity and more options to buy, which is going to put you and your husband in a much better position. You're going to spend less money, and you're going to have more options to look at as opposed to feeling like you have to buy the first house that you see. Does that make sense? So really, I mean, there's opportunity and challenges in every market. I want you to concentrate on the opportunities, and this is a really great market to sell in.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so here's our 4 actives, and just pay attention. These are all 2-story colonials in Colonial Park. Some are more updated than others, okay? And then we get into our pending and sold. And again, I want you to know that 6 months ago, we had 14 pending listings. Right now, we only have 2. 6 months ago, there was 7 solds, and right now, there's only 3. So it's making a difference on the market. We're seeing more actives than pending and settled. Lastly, what I want you to see is these 3 neighbors' homes that have expired recently. So you have 1, 2, and 3, all 2-story colonials in Colonial Park. All of them expired after 62 days, 90 days, and 30 days on the market. Why do you think that is? Because they priced too high. So Pat, what I can do is guarantee you that there's still no such thing as underpricing your home. What we want to do is price at or even a little bit below market value because there's still a lot of buyers out there and they still love Springfield. They love Colonial Park. So we want to price a little bit below market value to get as many people as we can through the door in those first few days. And I promise you, I'm going to get you what your house is worth.
Can I get it before?
I'm not going to guarantee you that, but if you can, I will get you there. I mean, me and you both want to get you more money than, we both want to get you the most money for your house.
Yesterday's agent said he'd get 4 1/4.
What was he going to do to get you 4 1/4?
To sell my house.
Well, but how is he going to guarantee you that?
I don't know, but he did.
Well, I mean, no offense to whoever you interviewed yesterday, but I wouldn't put much stock in someone that's going to guarantee me 425 when there's 3 other active listings. And no offense to you, but there are a certain amount of things in your home that could use updating and that aren't going to be appealing for top dollar to the buyers in today's market.
Okay.
Okay? So this is what I'm thinking. If we look at these active listings, what's expired and is more than likely going to come back on the market as added competition.
So if I'm reducing my sale price, because you want me to sell it for lower than what the other guy wants. What's your commission? You're reducing your commission to go with that?
So I normally list for 6%. Here's what I'll do, because I know that you're interviewing other agents. I'm willing to do 5.5%, and if I sell it myself, I'm willing to do 5%. Meaning if I end up representing the buyer. Now that would only be if it's the buyer that's in your best interest, but I am willing to kind of be flexible with my commission in that way. Does that sound good?
Can we just do it for 4.5?
Well, what happens with 4.5 is, especially with an added amount of competition on the market, we want agents to want to push their buyers to look at your house and to love your house and to make an offer on your house. So we can't co-op less than 2.5%, or we're not going to get agents willing to do that. So that's where the problem gets in reducing the commission beyond that.
Yes.
I have a question, because Pat can relate to this. Remember that listing in media you went to and I went to, and then he hired somebody else at 4.5?
No.
What the heck was his name? Dickerman team took it at 4, and it sold in like 3 days. So if somebody has that kind of information, what would you say?
Well, that was at the beginning of the shifting market when I was tough.
They probably co-op the 2.5 and took 1.5%, probably right.
I don't know. I went into all her listings to see what she's doing, and she's doing it a lot. So she's got a lot more volume, I guess.
Well,
I
listen,
don't know, because he said to me, well, she's a Keller Williams agent, how come she could do it for 4? And I'm like,
I mean, in my opinion, you can always discount your commission, but I'm not a discount broker,
Right.
you know, and I
no,
don't want
I
to get.
understand it, I was just gonna say, like, if, like,
In a market like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
it's honestly hard, I feel like, to compete because the house sells in 2 days. You don't really have to do much. You just have to go in with the confidence that you deserve what you're asking in the commission, you know, and I think if you can get that to come across and get the fact that you are the absolute best agent in today's market to sell their house for top dollar in the quickest amount of time and with the least amount of hassle for them, you know, and here's the reasons why, you have to believe it for them to believe it. But I promise you, if you believe that you're gonna do the best job and you deserve that 5.5%, 6% commission, they're gonna believe it too.
Up until COVID, I never went less than 6%. And I went every listing, went, no. Will you reduce commission? No. That's it, no. And I did it. Now, since I personally feel that with no marketing and the work that we're not doing, that I can justify dropping.
Right.
But any other markets besides this, I said no, and I didn't give them a reason.
And I feel like too, like, you know, there's agents that have a lot more volume than I do, but by always pushing for the interest rate that you want and that you deserve, they're doing a lot more work to make the same money that I'm making. You know, so to me, the way that I'm doing it makes sense. You know, like, yeah, I could have a bunch more signs and yards if I went around discounting all my commission, but then you're doing a lot more work just to make the same money that you could make if you just find the people that realize your worth.
Yeah, you're better off selling less houses and making more money.
Yeah.
More houses than less money.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Work smarter, not harder. So I think
I
that's
just wanted to
important.
bring that up because it happened to me, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I called him to see if he made a decision, and he's like, oh, it's gonna be listed next week, it's coming soon.
Yeah.
And I asked him why he didn't give me a call, he said, because you said you couldn't go below 5.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to go below 5 at the time. I mean, I don't even know if I would have went to 4. That was really low. Because like you're saying, a buying agent's going to go, oh God, I'm only getting 2%.
Right.
And some agents, unfortunately, won't show that house. And you should, because that's probably the house they're going to buy.
But this
So you
market,
waste time.
there's no inventory, so you
Right.
you don't.
Yeah, like you're not going to tell your buyer, sorry, I'm not showing you that one.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to you if you want to talk to them about making up the difference in the percentage that you're owed.
Right.
But it's tough in this market. You know, that's why I feel like I always push to get the paperwork signed at the listing appointment too, because then it doesn't give them a lot of time to like talk to their hairdresser and, you know, their neighbors and everybody under the sun.
When I had, with the listing, I had Meg sign it, go over it, we'll sign it with a date and a price, and then I'll revisit it the week before. It's not under, it doesn't get listed, it's not listed until that date, so it's not really a contract, but it's
In their
a
mind.
perception that they are under contract.
Right, so what Pat means is like, say we're sitting here today, but I'm not ready till August 1st to actually put the house on the market. She'll draw up the paperwork right there with an August 1st start date. As far as I know, I'm in a contract, you know, so yeah, she's gonna give me copies of it. How many people read copies of any of their contracts? Not many, you know, so it's better to leave with something signed than nothing at all, because I've lost a lot of deals that way too. You leave thinking you got it, you know, and feeling confident about it, and then next thing you know, oh, they called Redfin and they'll do it for $500 or whatever, you know, like, and I promise you, like, in this market, it's harder to combat that, but in the shifting market, it's gonna be easier to kind of prove your worth and to be like, here's what I'm gonna do to sell your home. You know, it's gonna be more than just putting it in the MLS and letting buyer's agents do their job.
Yeah, so you're gonna be working soon.
Yeah. Well, but you're already working with buyers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
you're just gonna be working more with sellers, you know? So, okay. All right, so we were talking about commission.
Yes.
So, I mean, Pat, I'm not a discount broker, so if that's what you're looking for, you know, you might wanna look elsewise, but I can promise you that I am the absolute best agent in today's market to sell your house for top dollar in the shortest amount of time and with the quickest, or with the least amount of hassle for you. The way that I'm gonna do that is by making sure that every single home buyer in the area and every agent that's working with those home buyers is gonna know that your house is for sale.
How are you gonna do that?
We focus, so first off, we include professional photography with every listing. So we'll have a professional photographer come over. I'll be here to help shuffle stuff around if you want to move things from one room to another. Really, the pictures is what gets people to make the appointments to see the house. So we'll have professional photos done. We spend a lot of money and market heavily online because that's where most people are finding their houses, either via an MLS search with their agent or Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com. So, you know, we want to really focus on that. From there, it's people making appointments to see the home and just making sure, following up with agents, getting feedback, making sure that they're aware of every fine detail of your home and every, you know, pro that it has.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
I'm gonna go back to the shifting market thing I just was thinking about. One of the things that, the scripts with the shifting market was that, how do I put this?
What were you thinking?
But one of the lines I say is, listen, my job is to make your house, my job is to market your house with the pictures and make it show great, to get people into the listing. Your job is, your house's job is to get the price and get the offer. So if we have the 10 showings and no offers, when they see the house inside, it doesn't warrant the
Yeah, they're getting
price.
disappointed.
If I don't get 10 people in to the house, that means that our marketing and how it looks doesn't warrant the price. So we need to make adjustments. So you're gonna have to work on those pricing scripts. So, but I put that up there ahead of time in this appointment. about
Yeah,
it.
so the absolute number one thing in a shifting market is gonna be your pricing conversation. So you wanna get familiar with having those conversations. The past few years, you haven't even really had to have them. You know, you could just be like, shot in the dark, what do you wanna list that, you know? And you put it on and next thing you know, it's sold for $50,000 more. Now, that's gonna change. So if you're not comfortable having the conversations about price and about commission, get comfortable with them. You know, get a buddy that you can role play with or script practice with, because it is gonna be important.
Power hour.
Yeah, or power hour. Okay, so Pat, again with the price. The worst thing that we can do right now is price too high and then we find ourselves chasing the market to where we should have started at. Because, are you someone that looks at homes for sale on Zillow? By any
Yes,
chance?
absolutely.
Okay. Now, tell me what you think, even in this shifting market, when you see a house that's been on the market for 25 days.
Something's wrong with it.
Exactly.
Of course.
Do you want somebody thinking that about your house?
No.
Do you want buyers assuming either, you know, there's something up with the house, or maybe you're non-negotiable, or, you know, and I can assure you, the more that the days on market accumulate with your listing, the less money that it's gonna put into you and Marty's pocket. So, I really think we go with the tactic of underpricing by a bit, to get as many people in here as we can, to get that price up as much as possible,
Okay,
okay? All at the 5.5% commission.
5.5.
Yep.
$3.95.
I really think, okay, here's what I'll say about $3.95. You seem to really want that $3.95.
I really
Are
want
you-
$4.25.
Well, okay, are you willing to do some things to get there?
Like what?
Well, okay, let's take a step back. Tell me let's talk about why you're moving to begin with. Tell me a little bit about why you and Marty are moving.
You know, we don't need this house. He's getting old.
He's getting old.
Same age.
I just need to, I don't want to clean the house anymore.
Okay.
I just need to change.
Okay, and what is your plan moving forward?
To buy another house.
Okay, so you want to buy another house. Tell me what that house is going to look like. Perfect world.
A perfect world. I buy a big house and hire people to take care of it.
Realistic perfect world. Give me an idea of what your next house
Yeah,
will look
I
like.
need a ranch, 1 story. No
Okay. Still in the same Springfield area, or are you branching out a little bit?
I'm flexible.
Okay.
Maybe the Carolinas.
Oh, wow, okay.
Maybe Florida.
Okay, well, I would,
Maybe Vermont.
just so you know, Pat, Keller Williams has a network of agents, and no matter where you move, whether you stay in Delaware County, Chester County, I can obviously help you there as far as a buyer's agent, but if you move to the Carolinas or Vermont or anywhere else, I can help you by finding an amazing agent that's gonna take really good care of you.
That would be helpful.
Okay, perfect. So you just let me know whenever you guys decide where you're gonna be looking, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, so, and what's most important when it comes to selling your house? Is it getting the most price? Is it
Absolutely.
quickest amount of time, or is it least
No,
amount of
I
hassle?
don't care when I sell it.
Okay,
I'm not any time, I just want to get the most money.
okay. But do you understand what I explained about these on market and how as they accumulate, the price that you're gonna get goes down? So we really need to price smart, hit the ground running. Now, when I asked you if you were willing to do some things, would you be willing to say, refinish the hardwood floors throughout?
Possibly, depends how much it is.
Okay, and I have a nice list of vendors that do just about everything, so we could get some estimates for you. That's no problem at all. I can coordinate or help you through that process. Let's get an idea of how much that would cost. How about, for instance, your bathroom upstairs had that pink and black tiles?
Pink and green.
Pink and green. Pink and green.
She likes it.
What do you think about having that bathroom reglazed so that it has that white and gray appeal buyers are looking for? You love that bathroom, but buyers in today's market do not.
Yeah, but if it doesn't sell, I want to keep my pink and green bathroom.
Okay, so if it doesn't sell, you're staying in the house and you're just gonna take care of this big house that you just told me you're sick of cleaning and
Until,
Marty's getting older and doesn't wanna do the stairs. And you think that there's gonna be a better time to sell them right now?
well, isn't it true that the best time to sell is in the spring?
Honestly, in our market, especially recently, there hasn't been a better time to sell. I mean, it's becoming where we're always in a good market, regardless of the time of year. For instance, right now, it's July, there's gonna be people that wanna get in before the start of school. You know, if we wait until September, then there's people that wanna get in before the holidays or before the end of the year. So there's always opportunity, there's always reasons why people wanna move in our area.
Should we wait till the spring?
Honestly, right now, Pat, we know what the market looks like, we know how much you can get. The future, we don't know what it's gonna look like.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of uncertainty going on right now, you know, with the interest rates are expected to continue to go up, which is gonna continue to
I might,
increase
with
inventory.
this political world, I might move to Costa Rica.
Well, there you go, and I can help you with someone in Costa Rica as well. But honestly, and I'm telling you this, you know, just from my heart, if I had a home to sell, right now is when I'd be selling it. Because we don't know what 6 months from now in the spring market is gonna look like. It could be completely different, and I don't want you and Marty leaving money on the table.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. So, do you think, are you ready to sign the paperwork, or we could go over it, and then I can send it to Marty via DocuSign?
How much?
I said, oh, okay, wait, were you willing to do the refinishing and the reglazing of the bathroom?
I don't want to reglaze the bathroom. I like my.
So no reglazing the bathroom, but you're willing to refinish the floors, or at least talk about it?
Yes.
I think if you're willing to refinish the floors, we can get a little bit, I can come over and help stage it a little bit. How about we meet in the middle and say 385? And I will do my darndest to get you up to 400.
387, 500.
387.5, I'll take it. Congratulations, Pat. But here's the deal. Do your 387.5. I would like, you know, an unwritten agreement that if a week goes by and we either don't have a lot of activity or have a lot of activity and no offers, that you're willing to reduce to my price that I've recommended. Okay, so we'll give it a chance to sell at
That's
your,
the important part of
Yes.
this shift. You have to have that conversation.
Pat, don't you put that in your listing contract? Didn't you say before that you put that in your listing, if there's 10 days?
No, I don't.
You
Some
don't?
people do that, but I
Okay,
don't.
okay,
Just because if I'm busy and I don't get to 10 days.
yeah.
I always try to at least just, I don't put it in my listing contract, but I at least have the conversation, so then 10 days later, you could be like, well, remember, when we talked, you know, you had said after 7 days, if it's not sold or we don't have a lot of activity, you would reduce to my price, you know?
Because in the shifting market, you have to reach out to your clients every week and say,
Here's what's
here's
happening.
what's happening. Sorry to tell you that we had no showings this week, and 3 more houses just came on the market, and this is their price. I think it's time to make an adjustment.
And do you want to sell your house when there's 10 other houses in your neighborhood for sale, or 2?
And then you have to price it to be the next house to sell when you have that big inventory.
Yeah.
It's fun. That's really fun, that market.
But it'll be funner with buyers, you know, because they'll have
My
more
gosh.
choices, and you might not have to write 7 offers for them to get one,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so that'll be
right.
exciting.
I just did
Look at the bright side.
I just did 3 buyers this week, and all 3 offers were accepted. I'm like, this is amazing. We're getting more buyers.
And we're getting back into contingencies, you know, less rent backs.
Inspections.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
So this is all a sign that things are starting to
Yeah,
shift.
definitely
But,
seeing the signs.
and one other thing I'll say is like pre-qualifying your appointments is going to be more important than ever with a shifting market. So you want to find motivated sellers, like I think Pat mentioned at some point. You got to find people that are realistic about needing a reason to move, because unmotivated sellers that are just like, oh yeah, I'll move if I get this price. In a shifting market, it's not going to work. You don't want to waste your time. Find the people that have to move because they had another kid and, you know, and need more space, or they're downsizing, or they're getting relocated for their job. So find them motivated, it's gonna make your life so much easier.
When I think I told some people, when this market shifted, I got burned out of about 5 houses because prior to this, in my normal world, I would go into a listing appointment and say, in my head, you will not take a listing over this price. You will, if they want more than $450, whatever, you will not take that listing. And so when the market shifted, I was doing that still, and it was like, I end up being, what the heck, throw a price, whatever you want. So we're getting back to that. You want to make sure you know a number, that you don't take listing over price. Now, it can be a stretch number, but don't, over that stretch number, don't take. You're just wasting your time and your money listing houses that don't sell.
And trust me, if you go in and say, yeah, I'll do $450, Pat, okay, that sounds good. Then every week, as I'm calling Pat to say why her house has no offers and no activity and, we're not getting it sold, that just makes me look bad. It makes me look bad that my sign's in her front yard for 6 months, so.
And then you get the call, Meg, thank you so much, but I think we're gonna go in another direction. Love that one. We're gonna go in a different direction.
Yeah. So I took a couple of notes, just of things I wanted to go over real quickly, just thinking about my listing appointments. So creating urgency, best time to sell is right now. Right now, you know what's happening, the future's uncertain. So just kind of like we just discussed, Pat said, what about waiting till the spring? We don't know what the spring's gonna look like. Rates could be 10%. Who has any idea? There could be 20 houses for sale in Colonial Park. Right now is what we do know. So right now is always the best time to sell. If you believe what you're saying and you're confident with how you say it, then your sellers will believe it too. I'm not saying go in and totally BS everything out of your, just lie about everything coming out of your mouth, but the more confident you are with the data that you have, the information that you have, the more that your sellers are going to eat it up. And they're same with, I don't care if you've been in real estate for 3 months or for 30 years, like it's all about the presentation and the way that you go in there and you're back and forth. Other point I said was, listen, you don't want to do all the talking at your listing appointment. If you have somebody that's meek and mild and doesn't talk, then yeah, you're going to try and fill the gaps a little bit. But most of the time, they have you over because they want to talk to you about why they want to sell their house. There's things they want to find out from you too, but always listen. You can find out a lot. Both of us, when we first came in, said, could you show us around the house? That's a great time to learn a lot about somebody's house. Learn a lot about them, let alone their house. Just have a normal conversation, like it's like you're walking through with a friend. Ask good questions. So tell me a little bit about why you're moving. How much do you think your house is worth? If you can get away with asking that and actually having somebody give you, some range, that makes things so much easier sometimes than just a shot in the
And if
dark.
the price is low enough, then the battle's done. Just sign the paperwork.
Exactly. If they're like, oh, if Pat's house is worth $390 and she's like, I was hoping to get $350. Oh, let's sign right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do whatever. What's most important to you when it comes to the sale of your home, and what could I do to earn your business today? So a lot of times I'll go to listing appointments and it's, oh, well, we have a couple other agents that we're going to be talking to. Let me ask you, is there anything at all that I can do today to earn your business? Just ask. What's the worst that they could say?
Or what are you looking for in a realtor?
Right.
What is it that you want out of your realtor? So get that.
I have a question. I'm sorry, Megan.
Yeah, no problem.
What you just said, you said Pat thinks her house is worth $350. You were thinking $390.
No, if Pat's house is worth $390.
What would you do for a price? Would you suggest to go higher, or what would you do?
I would probably say, I'd probably end up somewhere in the middle. I'd probably say, listen, a $350 is great. I think we can do better.
Yes.
I'm thinking we can get you closer to $4, but if you're happy with $350, let's try $375 and we'll get you as much as we can.
Oh, that's great, but guess what? I think I'll get you at least
Right,
$360.
yeah.
I won't go $375. I go a little higher. Then they think, oh my God, that's wonderful.
Like,
And
you
then
just
if
got us $50,000 more.
And then if you get even better with the offers, then even better. But I wouldn't push it too far.
Okay.
But let them know that, hey, I think we can get even better than that.
Yeah. 2 more, just mirror and match people. So, if you know a little bit about the disc profile, but if you have someone like, I can usually tell as soon as somebody answers the door and starts talking what type of person they're going to be. If price is going to be the most important thing, if they're going to really want the least amount of commission and they're going to argue with me about it. You learn a lot about someone. If they just want to get this done, wham bam, thank you ma'am, and get their money, or if they want to look over every line on the contract that you're going to be reviewing with them. Use that to your advantage.
And you guys all picked up on my body language.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to body language. Because if you start seeing them shut down, you either need to redirect, change the topic, or maybe you're just talking too much and you need to get them to sign the contract.
Yeah.
So watch the language, watch the body language.
Yeah,
It's
they
really important.
And that's why neither of us bring this 50-page listing
Yeah,
I was
presentation
just
or
gonna
listing
ask that.
packet.
I was just,
Neither
that
one of
was
us. All we
actually
did
what
was
I was
bring-
gonna ask you, what do you actually
Just
bring with
pick
you?
this stuff.
Yeah.
Bring the consumer report as well, right?
Consumer notice?
Consumer notice,
Consumer
yeah.
notice. I mean.
Yeah, I bring all the listing paperwork.
So,
Okay.
I go like they're ready to sign today.
Okay, so you have everything, but you don't pull it all out.
Yeah.
everything is here, and in this thing is a copy of the contract and the consumer notice for them to keep.
Just so that I sound more like educated and more professional in what I'm doing, I always have a copy of what the UNO, what the township or the borough looks for, because we go over that, and I feel like that's something not everyone's aware of. So it's okay. Let's talk about Aston Township is going to look at some items. They're going to do a UNO inspection. Here's a list. This does not all have to be done now, but I just wanted to be proactive with informing you that this is something that's going to happen later. I run an estimate of closing costs. I have no idea what they owe on their house, but a way that you can kind of try to gauge is looking at the public records, the most recent sale and mortgage. If they refinanced last year and pulled out $250, you can probably assume they owe somewhere around $235, $240. If they haven't had a mortgage since they bought the house in 1970, then they probably don't owe anything.
I also go with closing costs, but I go with several.
Yeah, so do I.
So when you go there, because you don't know the condition of it, I do a questionnaire before I interview, when I make the appointment. Tell me a little bit about your house, and I always ask them, I see that are you still a 3-bedroom, 2-bath? So and I say, tell me about your kitchen. Have you updated it? Yes or no? Oh, great. What type of countertops do you have? That tells me everything about the counters. If they're Formica, I know this is where the price point is. If they tell me they're granite, then we're a better price point.
Yeah.
And then I go in there with price ranges. And because then when I see it, it's like, oh crap, let me pull the lower
Yeah.
one. And then I give them the price range that I
Yeah.
think it should be.
And it reinforces that you know what you're doing. Because I may go with 5 estimates, but I'm only pulling out the one that's closest to what I actually think it's worth.
Right.
And then they really know that, wow, she really knows her stuff because
Yep.
she didn't even see my house yet. And she already knows that this is what it's worth and,
And then this is what you're gonna walk away with. Or if I don't know the thing, I can say, this does not have your mortgage. Well, how much do you owe? And then I'll write that on the bottom. Oh, you owe 150. I'll take minus 150. So this is what your bottom line book is looking
Right.
like. Will that work for you, Megan? Sign the
Yeah, that's
contract.
great.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Any questions?
What do you do if a client doesn't want to do an exclusive listing with you? Like, how would you respond?
I wouldn't even
I
be
walk.
interested.
Walk.
Yeah. Nobody really doesn't
Yeah,
do
I know.
exclusive listings now, but if somebody really wasn't, I would just say, unfortunately, I'm not
I'm not the
interested.
agent for
Yeah.
You want to try to redirect them?
You could always try to, why do you want to do an exclusive,
Okay.
Don't you want somebody
Why
to look out for your
or
best
why
interest?
wouldn't you? Don't you want somebody, right?
Who cares about your interests,
Yeah.
helps you. After all, when they talk about the price, and they say, if I'm saying 250, you're saying 500. Listen, we all want the house to sell for the most amount of money, because the more you get, the more higher your house sells, the more money we make. So we're all in this together. So we're not trying to lowball just to make less money.
Right, and so that's one thing I'll say about like Redfin agents, and I think Zillow agents now, because they're becoming a little bit, not super competitive, but they're salaried employees. They're like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 type people. So if somebody says, oh, Redfin said they do $500 on the list side and co-op at 2.5, which they do, then your reasoning needs to be, okay, do you know exactly what Redfin's doing for you? Do you know that they're not going to be answering the phone after 5 p.m. or on weekends? I just submitted an offer last Saturday, didn't hear from the Redfin agent after calling, emailing, texting every day until Wednesday.
Yeah.
They're salary, so there's no push for them to sell your house for the most amount of money. They're making their same, however much they make per
just have a
hour,
quota
regardless.
That they
Yeah.
have to hit, and that's all. And they don't care. I feel like, I don't mean to compare, but when I had a salon, it's like working at a haircuttery or working for a
Yeah.
private salon. The private salon has a lot more education. There's just so much more that they offer.
Yeah,
Then they're working there because they have health insurance. That's really why they're working there. It's not
Yeah.
passion,
yeah.
you know?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
So know your competition and know why you're better than it.
And if you were up against, somebody was before me, before I came in for things, you can ask them. So tell me, what did you like about that agent? What didn't you like about that agent? If you could find out about what they really want in their agent, you could circle around to that. Like, I need somebody that, when we get to expires, I did a lot of expires. So tell me that's what I really talk about. What is it that you liked about that agent, what didn't you like about that communication? Well, I can tell you, I'll be in touch with you every week, find out what that other agent they didn't like about it, and then you know what you have to do to get that, to keep that listing. And you will start getting that calls, you know what, we're gonna go another direction.
Hopefully, if you play your cards right, not that often.
No, but it'll happen. We're after 12. Anybody have any other questions?
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
And Megan, if you
I usually just have everyone eating out the palm of my hand. when I'm
get
listening.
a client that behaves the way Pat behaved,
Yeah.
you deserve the full 6%.
I should have increased it once we started looking at everything.
Do you think that most sellers just think that the listing presentation is a lot of fluff, or does everybody not want that, or?
They just want to know what they're going to get for their house.
So yeah, let's talk about real quick timing. I'm in and out of a listing appointment, max is 1 hour. If I'm there for longer than an hour, there's a problem. If I can do it in a half hour, then that's awesome. And that's with getting the paperwork signed. So it shouldn't be a lot of fluff. Just get down to the nitty gritty and what's important.
We don't, Megan and I both work the same way. We don't bring presentations and go over all this stuff. Now, if you understanding about the disc, there's some people that need a whole lot of fluff. And those you might have to pull out something or other and talk about. Or even just talk about their kids and their dog.
Yeah, nobody cares that, we've been Daily Times Agents of the Year for 5 years running now,
They don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you
Exactly.
care.
And again, it's all your confidence. And Pat mentioned yesterday, which I think is a good thing, especially for new agents. I would say probably I could count on one hand in almost 20 years how many times I've been at a listing appointment and they've said, well, how many houses have you sold? What's your days on market, average days on market? Like anything about my experience. It's because you go in there and you just act like you've been doing this your whole life. And push comes to shove, you can always say, oh, see this one here? We sold that a month ago for, $385,000. We could just mean your office, because we all work together.
Anybody
So
else?
use that to your advantage.
How many, have you sold any houses in the area?
And people see Keller Williams signs, just assume every Keller Williams, like people that are my clients or like know me, think I'm listing every house that has a Keller Williams sign out front. And like, do you not get that like, there's
That'd be nice.
hundreds of agents that work for Keller Williams?
In this office?
Like I'll get a call, like, you have the house down the street listed from me. I'm like, no, I don't. Like,
No, I don't. All right.
Good luck, go get those listings.
Get registered.